If you use video, the video is very important in e-learning. This is a sample. If you upload the video on the YouTube, and you can make a link using URL resource of Moodle. If they click that URL resource, they can connect it to the URL video on YouTube. This is a video about experiment of electrical machine. They can watch this video previous to the real face-to-face class. This is an idea about flipped learning. You can use the free service on YouTube. This is how you upload your video. You can select your video on local file, and the uploaded video can be listed in Video Manager. On the Video Manager, there are lots of videos you uploaded before, and if you click one of them, you can play that, and you can copy the address and enter that address into the URL resources of Moodle. Let me see how it is recorded on URL I previously made. This is the exact text field you have to input for your YouTube video URL. This is the way you can take advantage of video on your own class. If you design a class, the OKMind map plays a very important role. This is one of the samples I use for my class, and I put for weekly information at the first level node. You can provide a link to the image or video and link as a red arrow. And if you add some weekly information about the class, you can add and delete and modify very easily. This map can be embedded into Moodle. This is the way I did it. You can embed OKMind map into Moodle, and the whole function can be accessed even the case it is embedded in Moodle interface. So one of the most important activity in Moodle is using a forum. And you can generate a forum and use it for many functions. This is one of the forum I made. I use this for introduction of each member. So I ask my students to introduce himself on the forum, and if you just ask them to introduce yourself in the forum, that will be very short. So I gave them a special criteria to describe the happiest moment and saddest moment and the book I read, and that will cause the students to write longer sentences for their introduction. One of the favorite activities I use for Moodle is workshop. It's a peer review, and you can upload the your review stops and the students can grade each other, and the result will be calculated by Moodle. And that is a good way because teachers can save their time and students can learn a lot by grading each other. That is a good point of using constructivism in learning. And the quiz is a great stuff to use in Moodle, and the Moodle also support mobile environment. Students can connect their quiz using their smart device, so you don't have to do it in computer lab. In normal class, you can ask your students to connect the quiz of the Moodle, and they can calculate, and the result will be directly collected and analyzed. You can use Big Blue Button as a web conferencing tool, which is open source and can be nicely and seamlessly connected to Moodle. There are many other open source systems. OKMindMap is one of them, and that open source solutions can be linked together to provide a best solution for the client. And this is the screen to show that many maps is monitored by the administrator. And these tools can be used with good contents. There are many good open source contents provider. One of which I use frequently is GeoGebra. This is GeoGebra products which I use for vector and phaser generation for engineering purpose, and it has many applications to many different domains of mathematics, engineering, and science. And the result product can be produced as web-based contents. And one other thing is Logisim. Logisim is the tool I use for my digital class. That is not a web-based system, but you can install locally as application, and you can make a homework project for them to make the simulation and check the result. And this content is very important to make a good online e-learning environment.